Now, there are some people that are just very driven individuals, extremely driven, right? You're going to push through the pain, right? So you've got weeds galore, and you're still pushing forward. How many of y'all are the hardcore drivers? Yep. So it's kind of like what I did as a runner. So y'all may not know this, but I was actually a good runner back in the day. Who knew? And so in 2005, I was training for a half marathon, okay? And I would go to boot camp in the morning at 5 a.m. I was running 5Ks regularly, starting to train to go on longer runs, and I started getting this nagging feeling right in my upper leg. And because I was training cross country, you don't stop. I never quit a race. I never even walked in a race. I just kept pushing through the pain, right? 5K after 5K, boot camp after boot camp. I'm like, this is really like nagging me. What's the problem? Maybe you should go to the doctor. No, I'm okay. It's all good. It'll be fine. I'm sure I just pulled something. Until the Elvis Presley 5K, I will never forget it. I crossed the first mile marker, and I literally couldn't walk. They had to put me in the car and drive me back to my car. I'd actually just started dating Rich at the time, so this was really sexy to find out that at 26, I was just a few hundred feet away from breaking my hip. Yeah. I kept pushing through the pain, ignoring all the warning signs. I almost broke my hip at 26 because I was so focused on the result and I was just ignoring all the internal warning signs. Here's the thing. Just like the plants can't thin themselves because the offshoots are just by their nature, they're going to keep growing. If I didn't go in and intervene, it's going to go crazy. And what happens, as I've discovered, as a new gardener, I've learned all of these cool facts. It actually disperses the energy. And so, and some of y'all are like nodding, like, yeah, Natasha, we all know this. Well, I think it's cool, so I'm going to share it with you, okay? The plant disperses the energy, and so then the roots can never really get deep and strong. And you can't have a thriving garden without strong roots. So we've got to identify all the things that are no longer serving us. We've got to thin it. We've got to make sure that we are firmly rooted in our identity and in our beliefs. We need strong roots to counteract the harsh elements in our life. How many of y'all have been dealing with some harsh elements in your life right now? Yeah. Okay, so in addition to taking that inventory of your internal garden, I want to share 3 additional steps that you can take as you're going through this process to prepare yourself for the journey ahead. So number 1 is going to be a little bit counterintuitive, but it's slow down. Sometimes you've got to slow down to speed up, right? It's like a bow and arrow, right? Like you've got to pull back the bow slowly before you release it to hit the target. You got to get sleep. And it's very ironic that I'm telling you this, and as I've not had very much sleep recently in this small season, but my general method of operation is I have to have sleep. And I started learning back in 2016 how absolutely critical it is. You cannot be battle ready if you're exhausted. You cannot serve others if you're exhausted. I hate the hustle and grind verbiage in entrepreneurship and in the business world. It's just, it's counterproductive. It's great for the youngins that think that that's like the gold standard of I've got to do this. They will quickly learn that it is not. In fact, that's what I was actually told at the beginning. Oh, if you've gained a bunch of weight and you're exhausted all the time, that just means you're doing your thing. Someone actually normalized that for me. So I was like, all right, well, if I want to be successful, this is what I got to do. Terrible advice, y'all. That was terrible advice, right? All right. You can't think clearly from an exhausted state. The next is you've got to replenish and strengthen your body. We are spiritual beings in a physical body. You might have the most amazing, important, divine nudge on your heart, and if your body is out of whack, you are not going to be able to fulfill that calling. You've got to start fueling your body well. Get some form of movement. That's why we've got that every single day. I hope that everyone will step out of their comfort zone, everyone on Zoom and in person, and get up and groove with us. It's really important to get some movement in. Personally, my favorite form of movement is jamming out, dancing when no one's watching. So, and just like tonight, for those of y'all that are live, we're going to get to dance it out, right, tonight. 80s, who's excited about the 80s dance party? Yeah? Yeah. All right. It's going to be so fun. All right. Strategy number 3 is to spiritually connect, right? Just spend time connecting with your Creator. Spend time solo. Walks in nature, prayer, meditation, quiet time, journaling, all of those things, those are going to prepare you for the journey ahead. When I'm diagnosing how I got myself to the position that I was in 2016, it was because I didn't do any of these things. I was literally doing the opposite of everything here. And it wasn't until I started doing these three strategies that things really started changing, and it put me in a position where I was ready to say yes.